Let's cut right to the chase. We've got Ruger's new Security-380, and I have to tell you, I'm impressed. You know, Ruger's had a lot of success with their LCP series pistol, the LCP Max. So this kind of caught me a little bit off guard, because initially I thought, why would you introduce a basically kind of medium-sized pistol in 380? And then I remembered there was a couple of other manufacturers doing that, and I was real impressed by them. And sure enough, this sort of has taken what other manufacturers have done and then put some distinctive Ruger touches to. I think one of the more interesting things about this gun is that you can get a 10 plus 1 round magazine, and you can also get a 15 plus 1 round magazine. So really you could have 16 rounds of today's high performance 380 ammunition, and that's a pretty substantial payload. You know, anybody who says the 380 isn't adequate hasn't been paying attention. I think they're living under a rock. In the last 6 or 8 years, there's been this just explosion in bullet technology, and especially in the defensive pistol calibers. I think we have today the best that we have ever had in the history of handguns. You look at the high performance expanding ammunition and some of the non-expanding ammunition, like Black Hills Honey Badger, for instance, that fluted design. They penetrate 12 to 16 inches of gelatin. The 380 that I have tested, and I've got the gel photos, it's penetrating 12 to 14 inches. And so why is a 9mm projectile that penetrates 12 to 14 inches in a 380 any different than the same 9mm projectile in a 9mm pistol? It's not any different. You know, I would say the only downside to the LCP Max, LCP series pistols is that they are pretty small. I mean, yes, they're convenient for pocket carry, but, you know, they have 7 to 10 or 11 rounds, which is pretty good. But they are a little snappy, and I wouldn't call them a beginner's gun. It's, you know, to me, it's not a gun you would buy, you know, here's your first, you know, personal protection pistol. Not at all. It's a bit like people who buy J-frames and give them to their wives. It's like, that's a bad idea. Those are kind of professionals' pistols. And what this does is it gives you a gun that's a little bigger, a little easier to handle. You know, it's easier to control. It's easier to point. And I think it could be a really good idea if you don't want a strictly pocket pistol. One of the things about this, I think, is probably the best feature, and that is the fact the slide is what's called the light rack slide. And I mean, you really can. You can do it with 2 fingers, and it's got little wings on the back here too. And I think that's the biggest hurdle that a lot of new shooters, smaller statured shooters, female shooters have to do with the small automatics. Some of those 9mm small guns are pretty hard to rack the slide. I have yet to find someone who couldn't easily manipulate a slide on one of these light 380s. Well, enough talk. Let's shoot it. Okay, we're set up at about 15 yards. We got eyes and ears on and all that kind of stuff. Let's shoot 10 shots, and we'll see what it can do. This is the second magazine I have ever shot from this gun. We'll see. I was shooting fast and just goofing off. Let's do it again, and this time I'll shoot slower. Okay, same situation. We'll shoot 5 or 6 rounds. I'm gonna take my time though. Has a pretty good trigger, and the more I've shot it, you know, the more you get used to things. Let's see what happens here. Well, okay. Truly, I was barely watching the sights. I mean, I was mostly just sort of looking through them and just shooting the gun. Maybe something close that you would do in a defensive situation, although you'd probably shoot a little faster. This one here, I did settle down and take my time, I think this gun could easily have had them all right there, but the fact that it's new to me, I'm still getting used to the trigger and whatnot. I'll be bench resting this later, and we'll be writing this up in the magazines, and so we'll get a better sense. But from what I'm seeing here, I mean, I think this would probably be a 2-inch gun at 25 yards if you do your part. Well, okay, boys and girls, there you go. Ruger's new Security-380 and 11 shots or 16 shots. It's easy to shoot. It seems to be accurate. I'm anticipating it's going to be as reliable as every other Ruger I've ever shot. There'll be more information on that in the article, and I may do a follow-up video too. So $360 odd seems like really good value for what you're getting. All right, hey, if this is something you think you need, I think it deserves a hard look. And until next time, remember the 4 firearm safety rules and take a new shooter shooting. All right, take care.